go ahead and ask the question and repeat it.
Got to use African ingenuity. If one thing don't work, you got to try another. There's a small business development resource center that is supposedly at the old Merriweather Library. They put a couple of $1 million into fixing it, supposedly, and they named it supposedly after Beverly Gray. My suggestion, before I make my question, is that it should be named after and in memory of both Beverly Gray and Lumen Ross. Small Business Development Center. And it should be a development center that operates and helps all the businesses, the brick and mortar, the online, the home-based businesses, all of them. My question is there anything we can do to make that vision a reality?
I just want to acknowledge our esteemed county legislator, Sister Betty Jean Grant. She's here right now. I want to recognize our woman warrior, Sister Betty Jean Grant. And Sister Betty Grant may have some more to say about the Development Center.
Yes, it's very great for a cosmetic revolution submitted by Councilman Antoine Thompson, I think about 10 years ago. In order to change or amend it, it has to be before the county council. So that request has to be given to Councilman Derek Clinton of Elder District, where that center is. So that's to refer to Councilman Derek Clinton.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sister. Also, to answer your question about brick and mortar businesses, as well as home-based businesses, as well as online businesses, can we answer his question about you wanted to see recognition of those businesses as well?
Well, I know for Living Kwanzaa, we'll be recognizing both businesses. With the advertisement, that's obviously the brick and mortar, but we also have a lot of businesses that are online. So just like we're doing a bus tour to go to business, we're also going to go to a site that has a computer lab where we can actually have people go online and basically support the online businesses as well. So we got a lot of creative things. Also, Brother Kamal, through Facebook, I'm going to do a challenge. Like, I don't know exactly how yet. I'm going to make it creative. But basically, if you go and order from this website and post your receipt or whatever it is that you order, like you can actually, do a screenshot, then we'll enter you in a drawing for $100. So different things like that. For example, I don't know, this is a test to see who actually read, but I had put it right on the inside of the magazine that if you spend $20 or more with any of the businesses in this magazine and you submit it and upload it on the Facebook page, you would be entered in a drawing for $100. So that challenge is for everyone that got to live in Kwanzaa. And for those that are here tonight, if anyone, or I should say the first person that spends $10 or more in 10 businesses and you show and can prove it to me, I'll make sure you get $100. But that's only to the first person. So, those type of things is how you basically create people and drive them into a business to take action. So 10 businesses, any black-owned business, it doesn't just have to be these, but 10 businesses, spend $10 or more, you receive $100. Oh, he's going to match it. It's going to get to $200. Now that's what you call cooperative economics. You jealous.
Before your question, brother, we did have a question. I don't know if they left or not. They wanted to know the address to the African Heritage Food Co-op.
That was the question.
All right. Okay, so we have an administrative address at 1100 Jefferson Avenue. And that's where we operate out of. But we do our pickup days out of the Edward Saunders Center, the CAO Center, at 2777 Bailey Avenue. We don't have a brick and mortar like a grocery store yet, but we have a few prospects on the way with that. Okay, and also you can find out more about the co-op on the www.ahfc.coop. That's ahfc.coop. You can also call 716-573-1844. And again, that's 573-1844. Thank you.
My question is, I don't know if anybody knows me, but I was a singer in Buffalo, and I changed my life around, and now I build houses, and I did about 11 this summer. So what I'm actually saying is, how can we actually get to the point where we owning some property through the churches, whatever? But I think our generation need to own some property, and it's up to us to make that happen.
He's first. The co-op obviously is one way, but you're right, because when the last auction, it was like all the foreigners are pulling their money together, and they're buying up all the properties. And if they pull their resources together and buy the properties, that means they now control who they rent to. You see all these schools being changed into lofts, and the prices of these apartments, luxury apartments, all of a sudden are like over $1,000. So things are being bought out to push us out.
So listen, I challenge, I'm putting a little money up before I leave, maybe $1. I challenge everybody at the churches, schools, wherever there's blacks, to donate to it. So I want to start a foundation to build for the next generation. Okay, I got $1 on it.
Okay, so she's taking action, and we can build that, make that work. They have these GoFundMes. We can do a GoFundMe and pull accounts and go buy property. They can do it, we can do it. So that's about taking action, being strategic, creative, and effective, and just making it happen. But you know what? That's going to take some trust, and it's going to take some risk, because we got to trust each other to realize that we can make it happen. And I know you got a solution.
There's another thing that we can do on top of that. We can identify maybe some of the seniors who are homeowners, who are thinking about retiring, who are thinking about going to Florida, who are thinking about, and a lot of the seniors, especially the African American seniors, they've lived through it. They know what we're trying to do, and we can approach them and say, if you're interested or you're thinking about selling your house, please give us the opportunity to purchase the home, and I'm sure they'll give us a fair price. And once we've identified these properties and identified these people and identified the prices, then we can come to each other and say, okay, let's put up here and let's do that. So I think that's also an immediate solution we can do as well. I also think the foundation is a good idea, but it gets murky because it's like, where do we go? What do we buy? Who owns it? Who operates it? And those are all things that we can definitely figure out. But I think that one of the quickest course of action, if we find people who are trying to sell their house anyway, especially if it's 5 years before they have to sell, then we have an opportunity to purchase these houses before they even get to an auction or before they even get on the market. Because what's happening to us is people are coming with this money and they're driving a property up that was owned that you could have got for $3,000 10 years ago. Now it's $48,000, $50,000. We can't compete with them monetarily necessarily, but we can outsmart them by going to these people first and starting that inside track. It's like a legal form of insider trading. Okay.
Ujamaa is the theme of why we're here. Keep that in mind. If you approach, you mentioned churches have a lot of property, and they do. If you approach churches, if you think in terms of cooperative economics, something that we can do for each other to produce a product that is beneficial to the community, you may have a real end to get some cooperation.
It seems like every Sunday we do cooperative economics when we pay our tithes, right? Another thing is credit. If you notice, Sister Nakia is in the book talking about credit restoration. I have a partner that does credit. We're about to do things where fix credit. You fix your credit, you get your credit score in the right place, you can have the same amount of buying power that they have when they go. So this way, we're not necessarily pulling our cash on hand resources together. We're pulling our credit resources together. If my credit score is good, I can get $100,000. Your credit score is good, you get $100,000. You get $100,000. Now we have 5 people, $500,000. We now can go and buy an apartment building. So once again, it's about being smart, effective, and taking action. Your question?
Yes, I have a question. I had heard earlier y'all talked about the guy who had a Bluetooth store, and he was forced to give up his license because there was more buying power across the street with non-African Americans. Well, I'm a real estate broker, and as you know, I'm black, in case you didn't know this. And I am being tremendously discriminated against by the non-African American population. And I have so much to offer the black community that I would encourage your assistance as the Black Chamber of Commerce, because I know that that would assist not just my business but other businesses similar to mine. But I want to concentrate on the black community, helping low income, moderate. I have programs that I have developed to help people on Section 8 get homes, to offer workshops, and I don't have an office yet because I'm ready to bounce. I'm ready to run. But when I came here, somebody said, let me just come here, because I was going to go to the library. But I said, let me come here, and there's nothing wrong with embracing our blackness. But when you talk about, this is just for black people, how do you put that without discriminating against white people? Because now they've become offended. They have Jewish organizations, they have Puerto Rican organizations that help just that culture. Why can't we just do something for our people? And why can't we take the fight even further than just talking about it? I mean, take it to court and I literally sue them where it hurts, and then make a statement, because that's what I'm ready to do with this organization that's discriminating against me. I already contacted the lawyer. I'm ready to sue. And I believe that's the only way that you can really effectively make change. You got to teach them a lesson, but you got to teach it to them in a constructive manner. You got to go to court. And I need your help as Black Chamber of Commerce. I need some kind of assistance.
It sounds quite detailed, and I'd like to speak with you, give you some of the things that, from our perspective,
Okay.
and listen to you, and we might be in a position to help you find a network that can be beneficial to your approach.
Where are you located?
We're located at 736. We're on East Delavan. 836 is the address.
Okay, I'll find it.
And we have a phone number that you can call directly to me. I have a card, a chamber card.
Oh, yeah.
All that information will be there for you.
Sister, before you go, make sure we have your information. Make sure you contact this brother, because there are people who can use your services. So make sure people know about it.
And we can also do a story on you, sis, for the next issue of Living Kwanzaa. So put a star next to your name and I'll call you, okay?
My comment or just inquiry is for you, Mr. Cummings. Okay, can you hear me? Okay. I just basically am questioning right now, I'm from the east side, and you see buildings from when we were little kids that were vacant, dilapidated, just looked like they needed to be knocked down, and then they're just, all of a sudden becoming new businesses, brand new, everything in it from floor to ceiling, everything's brand new. Businesses servicing our community without our faces in it. And you guys did speak on that a little bit, but do you have any kind of suggestions or any kind of advice on how we can actually get these businesses started by us and funded it by us? Because, we go downtown and we try to apply for the loans and the grants that the city offers, but we're getting denied. We go to the banks, we get denied for the funding. I understand that there is, we were speaking of, the cooperative effort, but outside of that, is there any advice that you can give us as people to try and, establish some of these businesses in our neighborhoods for ourselves and our goods and our uses?
Take charge is the key theme. If you have a business in mind, it's got to be on paper, that you can explain it very clearly in terms of what it is that you want to accomplish, and your thoughts in terms of how to go about accomplishing it. It's something that's called a business plan, and a business plan gives you like a roadmap that will guide you to the success of the business. Without a business plan, you're kind of like in the water without a paddle or without an oar, or some of those things you really need. So you have to really think through it clearly. And if you're going to make an investment in it, especially, you want your investment to give you a return. So you want the best opportunity for success. And another thought is waiting on City Hall to send a cavalry to give you help. It's probably not going to happen. They'll take you so long that you forget why you went there.
Exactly, and that's what I'm speaking of. Even if you do have a business plan developed, and you're at the point where, like, all you really need is like the funding, that's not always available for us, but it seems like it's available for other people because these businesses are popping up in our neighborhoods, and it's like, well, I just tried to get money or funding for a business, and how is these stores able to open and function, and we can't get off the ground running?
Okay, when you say you have a business plan, if you call me, we sit and I'll give you a quick critique on your business plan. If it makes sense, I can help direct you where you can get support. If it doesn't, I don't want you to be offended if I tell you that you've got to work on this in order to really make it a real business plan. Okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Hi, I just want to thank you all for coming out tonight. I really enjoyed the talks you gave. My question is a bit broad, and it doesn't have to be a very strategic answer, but I'm wondering, as we aspire to emulate the economic outcomes of Black Wall Street, what can we do differently to avoid a similar demise?
Business is warfare. We need an army.
Let me just give you a quick thought. There's some things that can happen in terms of developing a economic power, economic position, and you can have an economic power base in terms of money, but money is not the kind of power that you need to stop a Wall Street, a Black Wall Street demise. People had money, and money didn't do the job. People needed to have developed a political power structure where from their office they could have made a phone call that says that they're talking about bombing this community, and we can't have it. And how can we avoid it? In other words, we got to build up a network of power in addition to building up a power base of economics, dollars. And if we do that, we should be in a stronger position than our brothers and sisters of the Black Wall Street. And if it doesn't work, then that next generation has got to improve upon that. But I think developing that political power, and when I say political, I know the legislators here in the House. I don't want to be critical about our political structure. But politics are necessary in order to cause some things to happen. And we need to call Betty Jean, for example.
Yes.
Say, guess what? They're about to do this. How can we? And I think, in fact, I know you get support from her. The rest of the people, you have to try it. But we've got to develop that power network.
My immediate 2 words that came to me was selective relationship. If you establish a relationship with someone that you can trust and you have a common good and common cause and common karma that's of the right spirit, then basically you can work together and build off of each other. A lot of things, if you educate yourself and you look at, well, what happened? Why did it happen? How did it happen? How did it come about happening? Well, then that's something that we can learn off from so we don't make the same mistakes. And if we, cooperative economics, if we basically join together, sometimes it's hard to trust going into business with someone because everybody has had some sort of situation or experience where someone, a family member or a partner did something that was unethical. So we have to learn to trust, and that starts with establishing a relationship. What I've learned from the city of Buffalo, anything here when it comes to politics, education, culture, anything, it's all about networking. People are people. So you have to just be observant, see how people are, know the fruits of the spirit, and establish a relationship, and of course keep God at the center of it and pray, because it's hard work when you're taking on such a big task, but you got to believe that it can happen. So just be selective about your relationships and keep God in the center of it.
When they came to bomb Black Wall Street, there was a soldier who came out and put all of his war, all of his uniform on, and he stood there like this because he didn't believe that if those guys came over and saw him and knew that he served his country, they would kill him and loot his house. They killed him anyway, ran in his house, took everything from him. The first thing we have to understand is this: we all we got.
Say that.
We are all we got. And if you believe one of the biggest things about Black Wall Street is because they didn't believe that it can happen. They didn't believe that there was somebody evil enough to come and steal. They believed in the American dream. We're wiser now. We know that we have each other. We have to support each other. You're my sister. So if they come to your house, they got to come to my house first. That's the difference now. Because I know, and we know, that if you come up to Doris Avenue where I live, you're going to have to bring it. And I think that's the mental state that we have now. So once we have our collective economics together, we have what Brother David, the other brother, been preaching about, protecting and loving each other, taking care of and interlock like this. So we have an economic power, our political power, but our strength. So come on over here if you want to. We know better now.
Excuse me, everybody. Bargani.
Bargani.